Day 19 of the pole barn build. Wow, I did not think that we would get here, and I have felt that it's been a slow process, but also fast at the same time, if that makes any sense. I am making this video nothing but a pole barn build update because there's a lot just going on and happening, and I feel like I took like a mini break from filming just because I was very overwhelmed and I was starting to feel burnt out with YouTube, if I'm being honest, because I have just worked so hard on my channel, and then, you know, like with this build, and just sometimes I feel like it's not going the way that I want it to on YouTube, if that makes any sense. Like, it's all part of making YouTube videos, is the ups and downs. Like, you always feel, oh my gosh, yeah, it's great, and then like, oh my gosh, people don't like my videos, and it's just the ebbs and flows of being a content creator. And so I was kind of in one of those feelings, but I'm feeling much better now because there's just a lot going on with the pole barn, and I am so excited. There is a lot going on, like I said. So today, day 19, pouring concrete. Zach has been up since about 5:30 this morning on a Saturday, going to the property, prepping the barn and the outside lean-tos for concrete to be poured. We will be doing concrete on the outside of the barn, like I've mentioned in other videos. However, we didn't do it today just because it would be a lot, and then also it was raining like crazy when they were pouring. And at least like with the barn, like it has an overhang, so it'll stay like, it won't be as wet, but on the outside, like, it's gonna be wet. So we have to wait for a different day to do that. So it didn't make sense to just do it today. We're gonna do it a different day, and I'm totally okay with that. As long as we do it, that's just really important to me because obviously, like, that's where the camper will go. It'll be the start of the driveway, and then my van, and then one of Zach's vehicles. So it'll be really easy to just kind of like pull in, back up, go up the driveway. Let me just say, my cousin is our general contractor, him and his co-owner, like they're building the barn, and then he's also going to be doing our house when we decide to build our house, which that's a totally different topic that we'll talk about with the house build and when that's going to happen. So he sent us this really long text last night, and I really appreciate it, but it puts everything like in order of importance of what we need done. And I'm going to read it to you because I think it's important to be transparent and like where we're at in the process. So we've already had our first plumbing inspection. That one was complete. That's why we can pour concrete. So concrete was poured today. We had our electric inspection. I know I mentioned in the past that we don't, like through our county, need an inspection. However, through our electric provider, they need an electrician to look at it to make sure it's safe, so then they will then connect power. So that first inspection, that got approved. That's good, and that's the only inspection that we actually need for that. But let me just read his text of what he said. To-do list in order of importance. Power. I'd call Monday morning to see when that's going to happen, which we need to figure out when they're going to come and give us power, because I feel like that's the last thing we're going to be waiting for. And our septic tank is being delivered next Friday. So 6 days from now, that is coming. Hopefully we can get that done in that day. If not, then that day, and then that following Monday would be great. Frame walls for mechanical room and bathroom. We are going to go buy the lumber and stuff for that. We were going to do it today, but Zach's been working pretty late, so maybe tomorrow. We definitely need to get it today or tomorrow, so then it's there on Monday so we can get started doing that Monday. Finish rep and plumbing to get inspection done, which is kind of the rest of everything. Like, you need the shower, get all that done since the concrete's been poured, because there has to be 3 plumbing inspections. We've already done 1 plumbing inspection, and then, you know, when this one happens, it'll be that. And then the last inspection is for, you'll get your certificate of occupancy. So we will need that. Finish rough and electric. So the electric is done, but like we need more to it, you know, like with the outlets and the switches and the lights, all of that good stuff. Insulation. So we actually decided to hire that out because the price difference was only $700. And let me tell you what, when I do this price breakdown video of the pole barn build, you guys are going to be shocked. We are saving a lot of money with other things, but holy shit, like I highly underestimated how much money insulation was going to be, because we're going to be living in it. So we want it to be insulated, and then it's going to be a man cave slash, like, you know, the one side is going to be man cave. We might like box that off, you know, like, I mean, not box off, wall it off anyways. And then the rest will be for animals in the future. But wow. Sheet walls and metal on ceiling. So obviously do all of that for the walls, finish plumbing to get final inspection. So then that'll be all done. And then, like I said, we're still waiting on the septic. After we finish and we get the electric in, so something we found out this week, once the electric is like done from the company that comes in and hooks up and gives us power, our well guy has to come back because he has to put, I forget what it is, I'll put it down here, Zach will tell me what it is. He has to come back and do that, so we have to pay him again for that charge. So that's a whole different thing we just learned about this week, so that's fun. And then he made a list of materials you'll need to get yet. Lumber to finish all the framing, we need that. Shower valve, shower drain, exhaust fan, sheeting for walls, metal for ceiling, he'll order that. Water heater, water softener, breakers, toilet. We were hoping to get the toilet actually tonight. Vanity and sinks. We have the vanity, but we need the sink. Dog wash. I did order the dog bath. That is coming on Wednesday. So I already ordered that on Amazon, got that coming, so that's good because we will need that for inspections, of course. Cabinets and counters. So we're hoping that we can just order that stuff next Thursday or Friday, because Thursday the big overhang door is getting installed in, and then hopefully the rest of the outside will be done next week, because then gutters and downspouts will come. And that's a whole separate thing. So like that is in the cost of what we bought the barn materials for. The overhang door, like those guys come in free, not free of charge because we paid for barn materials, but they will, you know, do that. It's not an additional payment for them to do it. And then same with the gutters and downspouts. We don't have to additionally pay them to do that. It's a part of the costs and everything. Kitchen sink, we already know what kitchen sink we want to get. Kitchen faucet, light switches, outlets, and lights. So that's all good. But he made this very long list for us, which we very much appreciate because it definitely helps. And some stuff like I forgot to add in the budget, like an exhaust fan, need to add that. Shower drain, I thought that came with it, but I guess not. Then breakers, I didn't think of that. But I will have to say, like, I knew building the barn was going to be expensive, especially with us living in it. And a lot of people will say, like, why didn't you just live in your camper in the barn? And reason being because that camper is so small for all of us, okay? 3 dogs, 4 kids, and 2 adults. It's so small. And here's the thing. I will have people comment saying, well, it's not that small. You'll be fine. We lived in smaller. Let me tell you what. These dogs have to be in cages, okay? If they didn't have to be in cages when they sleep, then it's a whole different thing. But they have to because they're still puppies. They still do puppy things, okay? They're good dogs, but they still have puppy tendencies, okay? Like, we need to keep them safe. And inside a camper, like, where are we gonna put all of our food and stuff? Doesn't really, and here's the thing, if we did do it and put the camper in there, we'd have to get the barn would be more expensive because, like, the materials, because we'd have to make it taller and get a bigger overhang door, which is like an extra, like, $3 to $5 grand, which is crazy. So everything, there's always gonna be money spent in whichever way you go. And we would still have to put in a bathroom and do all this stuff because, like, that camper, you know, you have to put your water somewhere, and also, like, most likely the country well water will damage the camper plumbing in some way. It'll probably turn into color. We don't know how our water is yet. Like, we have no idea. So I'm kind of really anxious to figure out how our water is. It'll be really interesting to see what our water is like. But nonetheless, no matter what you do, it's gonna be expensive is what I figured out. And so that's why, like, when I talk about the house and stuff later on, once we're finished and I do like the total budget breakdown video, I will explain it to you guys. But there has just been a lot of things I underestimated in price. Insulation being one, and stone being 2. The amount of money that we spent on stone is ridiculous. I would definitely have to say that would be number 2. What else? I guess labor in some ways for some things, but not really, because we literally saved, I think, what was it, $17,000 in electric and plumbing so far. I'm sure, like, as, you know, we purchase more things that we need, that'll go up. But I'm still just shocked with the amount of money that we've saved so far. It's just how it is, honestly. I mean, everything is expensive. You know, we knew it wasn't going to be cheap to do this, but at least we're going to be on the property, living our dream life, and I have lots of exciting stuff coming too.